guys, it's Jessie V. Do you guys like my pretty pink background? I'm still gonna be using my blue one, but sometimes I want to change it up, you know? And I saw this one and it has these cute little roses on it and I fell in love because I love roses. I'm not usually a pink person, but I just love this background, so. Today's V time is called the roller coaster disaster. And let me tell you, it was quite the disaster. When I was 8 years old, I went to Marineland. And if any of you have been there before, when you're a kid, Marineland is such a magical place. Like, have you heard that like theme song before? Everyone loves Marineland. It's a very catchy song. So I was so excited when my mom and dad told me that we were gonna go to Marineland because I wanted to see the whales and the fish and all the seals that did tricks. It was just somewhere that I really wanted to go as a kid. I was so excited that I used my weekly allowance to buy myself a little camera. And it was like a little pink Barbie plastic camera that was like $5. So the pictures turned out pretty much blurry because it was such a crappy camera. But I didn't care. I was just excited to have a camera. I really wanted to take a picture of the beluga whales. I like dreamed of beluga whales. They look so cute. I just wanted to hug one. So of course the first thing we did when we got to Marineland was go see the whales. And there was this area where you pay a bit more money, but you can go and actually reach over the side and touch the whales. It's probably the same as like SeaWorld. I've never been, but I heard they're similar. So my mom and dad told me that we can go and do that, and I was just so excited. The only thing was, I was so short because I was only 8 years old, so I couldn't see over the ledge to touch the whale. So I was like, Dad, you've got to lift me up. I can't reach these whales right now. So he lifts me over the edge so I can actually touch one of the whales. And let me tell you, I went from excited to terrified. Because you gotta imagine, you're a little kid and your dad is holding you up over a tank of giant whales. All I saw when I was being lifted into the air was water and a whale whose mouth was wide open and I was right over top of it. It felt like my dad was feeding me to the whales. I was like, Dad, no! Dad, stop! Please, please, Dad, what have I done wrong? Dad, I'll be a better child, I promise. It must have been so weird from the whales' point of view because they're probably so excited to see all these kids and they're probably really happy when they like touch their face. The whale's probably like, young human, pet me, please. Please, human, please. And he's like opening his mouth because he's so excited. Let me just say, I made a huge scene. And then it was my sister's turn to touch a whale. And she was about 4 or 5 at the time. And she was worse than I was. She was screaming so loud that we couldn't even understand what she was saying anymore. My mom took a picture of her and the whale, and she was pretty much just screaming in the picture. It was not a picture you'd want to frame and put up in your house. Let me just say that. She did the same thing when we took her to see Santa Claus. Santa Claus was never a happy experience for her. Whenever we put her on Santa's lap, she screamed, pull his beard. Santa would be like, what do you want for Christmas, little girl? I want you to go away. Oh, little girl, Santa loves you though. Santa will get you anything you want. I just want to go home. It was like that until she was like 7 years old. Anyways, let's get to the roller coaster part. When I was 8, I had never been on a roller coaster before. And my dad thought that since we were at Marineland and they have a massive roller coaster there, why not take me for my first time? He thought that I was old enough and that I would enjoy it. And because I had never been on a roller coaster before, I was like, it looks fun. Kids always look like they're having fun when they're on those rides. Why not try it? Worst choice in the world. The roller coaster that I was gonna go on was called Dragon Mountain. And because it had the word dragon in the title, I got just super excited. I was like, oh my gosh, maybe there's dragons up there. Maybe I will meet my first dragon. And my dad was like, of course you will. Of course you will, honey. So to get to this roller coaster, we had to enter a cave. And the cave was shaped as a dragon's mouth. And it got me a little nervous, I'm not gonna lie. It was kind of creepy to enter a dragon's mouth. I'm sure not many of you can say that you've done that before. It's not something you usually brag about. Yeah, I've been in a dragon's mouth. What have you done? It doesn't really work like that. So inside this dragon's mouth there was like a small tunnel, and the tunnel was really dark, and it led to the lineup for this ride. And I started freaking out a little bit because I'm like, why is it dark? It's supposed to be happy and friendly. Where are the pretty dragons? It's just scary in here. I was like, Dad, it's just a small roller coaster, right? There's no loops or anything. Please tell me. No, honey, you'll have a great time. You'll have a great time. And somehow I just didn't believe him. We got in our little roller coaster pods, and I was like, I can't do this anymore. To hell with the dragons. I want off this ride. Roller coaster pod? What? Whatever, the section of the roller coaster that you sit your butt on. So the roller coaster starts, and I can feel my heart beating quite fast. It starts taking us up this massive hill. And for those of you who have been on a roller coaster before, you know how anxious that can make you because you have no idea what the drop will be like. And you're just sitting there leaning back, and it's like, oh my gosh, this is how I die. And right when we reached the very top of the hill, the ride like stopped. And I think it was to make people nervous. It wasn't actually broken. It just had like this long pause at the very top of the hill. So I could see down the hill. It was a very long drop. I could see all the loops. My dad was lying. There was loops on this roller coaster. I was like, Dad, tell them to stop the ride. Tell them to let me off, please. Oh, honey, just sit back and relax and enjoy the ride. Dad, you have to let me off. Jess, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. And then the roller coaster went down the friggin' hill, and I thought my head was gonna fall off. It was going so fast. There were so many loops, and I was a small child. So when it went like upside down, I thought that I was gonna just fall right out. I was hanging on for dear life. I thought it was the end. That roller coaster ride felt like it lasted for years. I remember getting off the ride, and my legs were shaking so much that I could barely walk over to my mom. And the second she was like, oh honey, how was the ride? I puked. I puked all over the floor. And that is why I absolutely hate roller coasters. Ever since that one day when I was 8, I have not been on one. Seriously, I do not go to amusement parks. I do not go on rides. That time has scarred me. And my dad feels so bad for doing that to me. But he honestly thought I would have a great time. He did not mean it to, you know, be a horrible experience or anything. But that is the end of my V time for today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you guys have been on that same roller coaster in Marineland, let me know what you think. Obviously, because I was a child, it was scary for me. So if you're older, it's probably not going to be that bad. I just remember it as a bad experience. So before I go, I just wanted to mention that one of my cousins has just started his YouTube channel. He's doing it with his best friend, and he's a really funny guy. They both are. They're going to be talking about games, movies, they're going to be doing some comedy skits, all kinds of nerdy stuff, which I just think is awesome. So if you want to check them out, I'm going to put their channel link in the description. And yeah, I think they're pretty cool. I think you'll like them too. Anyways, my Twitter, my Instagram, and my Snapchat are in the description, so follow. And until next time, guys, bye.